Revenge and Redemption. Sabalenka v Anisimova in final. Aryna Sabalenka, left, is the defending U.S. Open champion while Amanda Anisimova is chasing a first Grand Slam title. U.S. Open 2025. Venue, Flushing Meadows, New York. Dates, 24–7 of August, September. Coverage, live radio commentaries across 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds, plus live text commentaries on the BBC Sport website and app. Women's final estimated to start at 9 p.m. British summertime. After reaching the U.S. Open final, both Aryna Sabalenka and Amanda Anisimova leaned back and let out almighty roars of relief. Both have faced adversity this year. Both have come within touching distance of glory, only to fall agonizingly short. Sabalenka, the world #1 and defending champion in New York, has suffered defeat in the Australian and French Open finals this year. Anisimova, meanwhile, froze in her first major final, suffering a brutal 6–0, 6–0 loss to Iga Swiatek at Wimbledon just 56 days ago. Sabalenka's ability to overcome the ghosts of this year's Grand Slams will be crucial to her bid for a 4th major singles title, and the same can be said for Anisimova. On court, both Sabalenka and Anisimova are big hitters with fearsome ball-striking abilities. But the pair are also prone to showing their emotions and, in some cases, allowing them to take over. The pair have faced each other twice this year already. Belarusian Sabalenka came out on top in the last 16 at Roland Garros before American Anisimova produced a stunning upset in the Wimbledon semifinals. The pair are undoubtedly similar. But on Saturday, there will be one key difference. Only one will end the night as the U.S. Open champion. A compelling character on and off the court, Sabalenka wears her heart on his sleeve. While endearing to tennis fans, it has proved costly on the big stages. All 3 Grand Slams this year have ended in devastating defeats to American opponents. Madison Keys out-hit Sabalenka in Australia. Coco Gauff outlasted her in Paris before Anisimova stepped up another gear at Wimbledon. Sabalenka's passion and desperation to win has often erupted into frustration and fury, while her eagerness to overpower her opponents can cause her to become error-strewn. Sometimes that emotion has spilled over into her words. She had to apologize to Gauff after saying the American had won the French Open final, not because she played incredible, but because I made all those mistakes. Sabalenka says she will not make that mistake again. I learned that lesson, and I will never behave that way. It's not me, she said on Thursday. I was super emotional. I let emotions take control over me, and it's not who I am. Learning to control that emotion is where Sabalenka must improve if she is to triumph again in New York, particularly when facing a partisan home crowd. After her semifinal defeat at SW19, Sabalenka said Anisimova was more brave with her shots, and she needs to remind herself that she is the one at the top of the rankings in the key moments. Sabalenka remains the outstanding player on the women's tour. She has won 55 matches this year, claimed 3 titles, and has a 3,292-point lead at the top of the rankings. She is the first woman to reach both the Australian and U.S. Open's finals for 3 consecutive years, since Martina Hingis in 1999, as well as the first to reach 3 major singles finals in a calendar year since Serena Williams in 2016. But, for all those impressive statistics, ending 2025 without a Grand Slam would potentially be disastrous to a serial winner like Sabalenka. For any player, reaching a Grand Slam final is the pinnacle of the sport. Anisimova achieved that in July, having failed to make it through qualifying the previous year. But to go from suffering a demoralizing defeat at SW19 to reaching a second major final just 2 months later is simply astonishing. Anisimova's U.S. Open run has been an immense show of character and resilience. Her steely determination helped her brush off such a brutal defeat, as well as making her a fearsome opponent. It was aggression and fearless ball striking which got her over the line against Swiatek, while grit and her sensational backhand saw her through a 3-hour tussle with Osaka. I have worked really hard, especially on my mental game and not giving up, Anisimova said after her victory over Osaka. I could have easily said, she's playing better than me, and I can't really do anything. But I tried to find any way I could to stay in the match, even though it was extremely tough. Anisimova, who is the youngest woman to reach the Wimbledon and U.S. Open finals in a season since Serena and Venus Williams in 2002, admitted that might not have been the case a few years ago. But a 7-month break from tennis 2 years ago has shifted her mentality. When I was at Wimbledon, every single match was a surprise to me. I was shocked with every match that I won, she said. But here it feels more like I believe in myself, and I'm able to do it. That's been the shift. In the golden twilight of a packed stadium, with the roar of thousands rising like a tide, two women stood on opposite sides of the net, carrying with them the weight of history, pain, and something more sacred than rivalry, unfinished business. The scoreboard read, Final, Arina Sabalenka versus Amanda Anisimova. To the casual viewer, this was just another thrilling matchup. But to those who knew, this was a story years in the making, a clash not just of talent, but of inner storms and the ghosts of past battles. She ousted Sabalenka in a major quarterfinal, a match that sent shockwaves through both players' careers. For Amanda, it was a moment of reawakening, a step toward reclaiming her early promise. For Arina, it was heartbreak, a missed chance in what was meant to be her year. I choked, Sabalenka had admitted bluntly in the post-match press conference, her voice heavy with frustration but laced with raw honesty. She played fearless. I didn't. That match had become a scar. Not an open wound, but a mark she carried, not out of bitterness, but because it reminded her of the fire still burning inside. Sabalenka had risen since then, becoming a Grand Slam champion, a world #1. But that match, that loss, it never truly left her. Anisimova's journey wasn't smooth either. After her breakout years, she had battled injury, loss, and the cruel unpredictability of life off the court. There were whispers she might fade away, another talent dimmed before its time. But Amanda wasn't done. She returned to the tour not with thunderous headlines, but quiet resilience. Slowly, surely, her game sharpened, her belief restored. She played like someone who had learned to endure, and endure well. This tournament had been her renaissance. Match after match, she dismantled seeds with a mix of grace and grit. In the semifinal, she had saved 3 match points to defeat a rising star. It was vintage Amanda, cool under fire, poised and poetic. Sabalenka's path had been brutal, the draw from hell, some said, but she plowed through it with the fury of a woman possessed. Every win was an exorcism, especially the semifinal where she avenged another painful loss from the past. It all led to this. Finals. Center court. Under lights. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.